Hi, my name is Kate. I'm also known as Two Little Kits. Welcome to my 12th FlossTube. I can't believe it's been 12, which means I've been doing these for 24 weeks, which is almost half a year. That's pretty crazy. I thought I started these July, which is, yeah. Anyway, I've got a couple of things to show you that I'm working on. I have lots of finished pieces, but they're going to be shown mostly via editing because I don't have them anymore. And I have a couple of things that I want to talk about, so let's get started. So the first thing that I want to share is all the finished pieces that I have, which is mostly Christmas ornaments. I'm gonna edit the video and add in either some photos or videos, I haven't decided which just yet, of the ornaments that I did. In total there were 14 completed, and all the ones that were being sent within America have been delivered, so yay! They were a lot of fun to work on. I started them back in September, so I have a cat scratching me. I'm surprised at how much I really enjoyed it. I mean, I always enjoy stitching in general, but there was something different about all of these, maybe because I wasn't tied down to people's outfits. I had free reign of the designs and everything like that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I batch stitched them all, as you will have seen via my previous floss tubes. So I did, all the skin, and then all the clothing, and then all the hair. And I kind of did the hair and the decorations at the same time, I guess. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And as I said, all the ones, actually I think all of them have been delivered now. They're not all necessarily opened yet, but that's okay. But the ones that were being sent within America have all been received as of Friday last week. The ones that I sent back home to Australia arrived Monday Australian time, so they arrived yesterday, which I'm recording this on Monday. They're all for family, so they're all going to be opened this coming weekend because my family back in Australia are having their family gathering thing this coming weekend. So I'm hoping that I will get a bunch of video reactions or just photos, or I don't know, something. That'd be awesome. Yeah, they were just a lot of fun to work on. I'm looking forward to doing them again next year, which I can't believe is only like 3 weeks away until it's 2022. I will likely be starting them pretty early, so I'm thinking like starting to take orders in July. Unlikely earlier than July, I'll be honest. Milo. That way I should be able to do a lot more. I got a lot of interest from friends of friends, basically, that saw the ones that I've done. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that might turn into more projects for next year. And I will definitely only take what I feel I'm comfortable stitching in time for Christmas or the holidays. I'm not going to say yes to everybody, basically. But that's all my finishes, and you will have seen some of those last week, because, well, not last week, but last FlossTube, because I didn't finish them all exactly at the same time. But anyway. The other thing that I have to show you that is finished, actually there's more than one thing, is 2 more pieces that I don't have that have been sent off. One is a charity piece that I completed for a mum and her daughter that were in a really rough situation, and I think I may have shown this finished piece actually last FlossTube, or at least I was working on it, I can't remember. But I finished it and I've sent it off, and I haven't heard anything back, which I'm a little bit bummed about. I'm hoping that it was indicated that it was from me. Anyway, the piece, as you can see, I didn't take a video of it, unfortunately. I forgot to, and I realized about 3 days after I handed it off that I forgot to take a video. Yeah, it was obviously free reign. There was no customer really to work with, so I could do whatever I wanted just based on the couple of photos that I was given, and I had a bit of fun with the flowers. I'm happy with how they turned out. I'm not happy with how they're sitting on the piece, but there's nothing I can do about it. I wasn't going to unpick it because it was a lot of work. But hopefully they translate it as gladiolus, and apparently those flowers mean strength. So yeah, I think it was, hopefully they translate, like I said, hopefully they translate as those flowers, and then it makes sense. But anyway, the other piece I did was a piece for someone that I follow on Instagram. If you haven't seen, I do this sometimes for people that I've followed and really enjoyed their content for whatever reason, and this lady does hilarious reels that I've been enjoying for most of this year. So I do it, I'll backtrack. So I like to stitch something for someone whose content I've enjoyed, and there's something about that person or people that makes me want to stitch them. And so her aesthetic I think is really cool. It's not what I would personally wear or do, just because I feel like it would be more maintenance than I have time for. But yeah, I was like, I like your stuff and you're cool looking, and anyway. It's supposed to arrive tomorrow, which will be today when this publishes, and hopefully she'll check her mailbox when it arrives and not like weeks later, because otherwise I'll be on the edge of my seat making sure that it arrived properly. Yeah, that one was fun to make. It's very quick and easy because there was no customer again. So, but the last piece that I finished was this pattern that I made, which is now available on my website. It's called No Bones, and if you don't know about Noodle the Pug, then you need to go on the internet and Google Noodle the Pug. His owner's TikTok page is amusing, and it's about a dog that at the start of the day his owner works out whether or not he has bones or not, and if he has bones then it's a bones day, and if he doesn't have bones then it's a no bones day. And when it's a no bones day, it means that you have to take care of yourself and go easy on things and don't make big decisions, and it's just a silly TikTok thing, and I thought it was prime for the pattern making, so I made Noodle the Pug. And yeah, like I said, you can get it on my website right now. It's pay what you want, so if you want to, you can pay $0. It's up to you. It got a purchase within like an hour after I posted, which was pretty cool, so that doesn't usually happen for me. But yeah, hopefully you like it, and if you do get it, tag me when you're working on it or finished it, because I'd love to see. Moving on to works in progress. I only have 2 things that I'm working on now, unless I've completely forgotten about something. I've had a lot of people ask for quotes, so I've got a lot. I think this is why I'm like, I only have 2 things, what the heck? I'm getting the amount of people that have asked me for a quote or talk to me about an order mixed up with how much stuff I'm actually working on. So if you're watching this and you think that you should have an order with me, hit me up, let me know. But the Stitch People portrait that I have working on is this one, which is almost done. I just need to finish the hair on the little boy and the mum, and I was working on Dad's hair, and I sort of wanted to sleep on it for a couple of nights and see if I still really liked it, because I've done it in a way that's a little bit different from my usual, just because of how his hairstyle is. And I think it's okay. I sound confident, don't I? Yeah. But this one I was streaming a couple of weeks ago, and I started it while I was streaming, and I was having the worst, sorry, my cat's always trying to get into my stuff. I was having the worst night for stitching. I ended up finishing the stream like an hour early or something like that because I was just having such a tough time. But normally I don't do these kind of eyes, which are known in the biz, in the stitching world, as happy eyes. I don't normally do those eyes, but that's because I had unpicked her head, I want to say 3 times. I had to unpick it and redo it. I can't remember, I blocked it out of my mind. But after that many times, and then I went to do eyes and I realized I didn't leave holes for the eyes, I was like, fuck it. She's getting fucking happy eyes. I think I did an Instagram reel on it actually. So yeah, I don't normally do these kinds of eyes. I usually do this, which is just the single square of black. And sometimes I do like the influencer piece that I showed you just before with the 4 squares where it's 3 white squares and 1 black. Sorry, I've got fur in my throat. But I don't do that one very often. It's a bit more fiddly and it's not really everyone's cup of tea. So I mostly do these ones with the black square. But this time we've got happy eyes. So yeah, if that's something that you'd like in the future, let me know. I can do it, it's not a problem. It's just not what I'm ever asked for, so. But yeah, that one's coming along nicely. I'm not really that pleased with the mum's top. It's sort of like a midriff top, so you can kind of see her skin underneath. I don't know. I've been thinking about it for at least 4 days now. And I'm trying to see if I'm okay with it, basically. This one needs a wash. I accidentally got a bit of food on it. It'll come out, but I don't even know how it happened. I think I had something on my top and I've like lent it against me and it's gone on there, because I don't normally eat while I'm stitching. But anyway, so there's that piece. And the other work in progress I have is this one, which, as you might be able to tell, I've done a lot on since the last time I showed this piece. Since the ornaments were done, this is kind of all I've really wanted to work on. Oh, and here's the back, because a lot of people like to look at the backs of my work. I'm pretty pleased with the back of this one. Yeah, I got my floss still attached, but people seem to enjoy seeing the backs of my work, because I am kind of a stickler for making it pretty neat. And this one I'm particularly proud of at the moment. And it's gonna help that there's no back stitch for this pattern. So there's not gonna be any of those crazy lines all over the place. But yeah, this one's coming along awesome. I found the green that the trees needed. I couldn't find it, so I had to skip it to continue on. I don't even know where I found it, but that's coming along nicely. I'm working on this blue here, but I'm doing the little windows. As you can see, there's 2 windows, and I've kind of changed the pattern a little bit. The little windows aren't supposed to really be a pattern of colors, but I kind of liked the idea of them flowing in a diagonal, so why not? And working on this bit up here, I've noticed that I'm missing one of the yellows. I think it's this dark yellow. It's supposed to be in the lines there. So yeah, that's the good thing about crossing off your pattern as well, because I've been crossing off the pattern as I stitch. I'm finding all these bits that I accidentally missed. So, but this one is awesome. I could easily get this done by the end of the year if I really wanted to, but I'm in no rush because this is for me, this piece. And it's going to accompany 2 more of the Pretty Little City series pieces. So that I've got LA and Seattle, because they're all places that we've lived, my husband and I. which again, a shout out to Satsuma Street. If you could make a Melbourne one, that would be awesome. Anyway, so this one's been fun. Hopefully that focuses, but I'm really pleased with how flat all my stitches are sitting. 2 strands on 18 count is definitely the way to go. It just looks so pretty close up. I will be taking so many close-up photos of this piece. Just for me. Like, who cares about all you guys? I want to see pictures of it close up, and I get to just look at it if I want to, but I will share them because I'm not that cruel. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this piece, seeing this piece finished, because as I mentioned, the pattern that I'm working off of, this is my own printed version of it, and I'm not going to show you the whole pattern. I'll show you this corner. This is the smallest piece of the pattern. That is part of the pattern, but I didn't have any blue ink in my printer at the time. So as you can see, like, it's all orange and red and yellow and pink, and it's not right. Like, that's the whole, like, that's the big bit of the pattern, and that's not what it looks like when you look at it here. So it's actually been really kind of neat seeing the colors all emerge properly like they're supposed to, because my pattern's wrong. But anyway, I'm rambling. That's what I do. So that's fun. And the next one I'll be working on of this series is the LA one, because that was the next place of the 3 that we lived. The next thing I want to talk about is embroidery and stitch-alongs. I didn't talk about it last week, but the week before that, so number 10, FlossTube number 10, I talked about embroidery. Now I still haven't figured out the pattern for the next stitch along, the winter themed stitch along that I want to do. I'm hoping this week, because this is my last week without the kids before they have winter break, I'm hoping to get started on it, because I still want to do a stitch along for the start of January once my kids go back to school. I have a lot more time on my hands that is kid free, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So I have high hopes that I'll be able to do this. If you want to, viewer, feel free to send me a message and say how's it going, if you're excited about it. If you're not, whatever. But if you're excited about doing another stitch along with me, hold me accountable. That would be awesome. There's what I need as an adult with ADHD who doesn't have to stick to set deadlines. The only deadline I have is this one. Like, I gotta get this one done this week, and it's almost done. I'm hoping and I'm thinking that the latest that this piece will be done is Wednesday, and I'll be able to send it out. But things like a stitch along, it's up to me when I release it and when I want to hold it. So not having a true customer per se, I can easily just flake on myself. So again, if you're excited about doing a stitch along that is wintry themed, so like all cozy, fuzzy, new stitches, all that kind of stuff, send me a message, say, hey, get cracking on it, and that'll help me stay motivated and focused. The last thing that I want to talk about is real life stuff. So the big thing that's happened in the last 2 weeks, and it just happened this weekend, was we made, and you will have seen some talk of this in my Instagram stories if you follow me on Instagram and you look at stories. I mean, like, I know not everyone looks at stories. I'm really bad at following people's stories. Anyway, you will have seen that I've been talking about Archie and that he is not working out for our family. And I'm hoping that I don't cry, and I will edit this out if I do, but we made the really, really hard decision to rehome him, and I took him to the breeder on Saturday in the afternoon and dropped him off and left. And that was really, really fucking hard to do, because he's a gorgeous dog. He's going to be an amazing adult dog. He just needed a family that would treat him the way he deserves, and that was not our family. Without going into too much personal information, he was being treated poorly. My kids were really struggling just with a high energy dog. And as you all know, my oldest is autistic and has ADHD and is intellectually disabled. She was not coping well with just him as in general. We being my husband and I thought that both of our kids were ready for a dog. A Siberian Husky was the breed of dog that my husband always wanted, and we did lots of research. We talked to the breeder before we even showed interest to get, you know, a professional, someone who works with this breed all the time. So, their take on whether a Siberian Husky would be good for our family, but ultimately it wasn't. Me breaking my toe certainly didn't help, because I was going to be the one that helped him burn off energy. I still plan on it, but just without a dog. I was going to be taking him for daily walks and doing training and just, yeah, helping him develop and grow and get tired, basically, as all puppies need, but especially a breed like a Siberian Husky. All that to say is we don't have Archie in our family anymore, and I'm very sad about it. I think everyone in my family is very sad about it, but we talked about it in length with the kids before it happened, and my oldest is still a little bit confused. She keeps asking, "Where's Archie?" And all we can tell her is that he has a new family, basically, because when I talked to the breeder on Saturday when I dropped him off, but also before then, I found out that there was at least half a dozen families that put their hands up to take him. I just suggested that he goes to a family with another dog, basically, because that would help him immensely. And I don't know about my husband, but I was not willing to get a second dog just to appease the first dog. So hopefully you can all understand that. But yesterday was a lot calmer because there's been a lot of high anxiety because of the dog and the kids, pretty much. So yesterday was calmer. We've actually seen the cats again. Both the cats are in here with me right now, hovering. I don't know where one of them is, but one of them's right there. He was giving me a cuddle while I was talking about the ornaments, which I'm likely going to edit the videos over the top of, but anyway. So it's been nice seeing our cats again. We've definitely realized that at least for the foreseeable future, we are a cat family. We're not in any rush to get another dog. And if we do, it will be a completely different breed of dog, and likely we'll rescue an adult dog. But that's a long way in the future. That's not something we are going to do again anytime soon. If anything, we're going to get another cat. We're kind of due another cat, actually, because we got our second cat, Milo, 2 years after we got the first cat, who's Zoe. And we've had Milo for 2.5 years now. So we're due a third cat, aren't we? Yeah? Yeah? No, I'm joking. Anyway, so all that to say is that's why I have a lot more time on my hands this week than last, because I don't have a puppy to attend to and watch and take care of and train and exercise some in whatever way I can think of with a broken toe. And I'm very sad about that. I'm trying to remind myself of all the pros, such as I was able to go straight to Target after dropping off the girls at school this morning, and I bought a bunch of Christmas present stuff, like stocking things for the girls, and things to do for while they're away from school for winter break, and my husband wanted some Lego because he is a big Lego fan. And they had a big sale on Lego. So I got lots of, I did some retail therapy, I guess. But I didn't have to worry about my husband watching the dog while I was out. So things like that, this kind of stuff that I'm focusing on right now. An update on my broken toe. I am seeing an orthopedist this week, not that I'm counting. I've officially been in this moon boot now for 6 weeks, which just felt like an eternity, I'll be honest. Walking is a lot easier without it than it has been previously. I'm still wearing the moon boot, even though it was recommended that I wear it for 6 weeks and then I could take it off. I'm gonna wait until my appointment on Wednesday to find out what's going on with it, because it is still very swollen, and it doesn't, like, if this is your big toe and it goes like this, my big toe that's broken goes like this still. It doesn't bend here at this knuckle bit. It just goes up and down. So I'm a bit concerned. I'm a bit worried about what's going to happen. My oldest daughter accidentally stood on it, probably this time last week, and that fucking hurt. So it still has pain when aggravated. Like, she didn't even stand on it that hard. She wasn't wearing shoes or anything. And I've got the boot, like, surroundings. So she mostly stood on the boot than my toe, but it was enough to still really hurt. And I slipped outside because of the boom boot. Late last week, I was in the backyard checking out our gardener's work, because we got a gardener to come out and fix the disaster that was our front and backyards. And it had been raining, and it was stones that were previously covered in leaf litter. So they were slimy and slippery, and I just went, wee! And the moon boot really helped. The bit at the front, there's like a little like cup at the front, and it just went up. And so my toe was just exposed, like, thanks, you know. Anyway, so that's the update on my toe. I have something that I can share next FlossTube, potentially. Hopefully it's not more moon boot. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But yeah, the next FlossTube will be just after Christmas. My family is not religious. We pretty much celebrate Christmas as like a family get together, and just both Josh and my family were like, Christmas is not about religion. It's not about the story behind it. It's about giving and receiving thanks and well wishes and presents from family and friends. So Christmas, and especially Christmas since we moved to America, is a lot more chill and laid back than what a lot of families do, especially in America. So I will potentially actually be recording on Christmas if my kids are what they have been the last couple of years, completely distracted by everything they've just opened and will want nothing to do with me. So here's hoping that's the case, and then I'll be able to upload it on a Monday like I'm supposed to. It's just this weekend, as you could probably understand, was a little bit busy and not that great. So I'm recording this on Monday. But yeah, the next one will be just after Christmas. I'll have lots to talk about, most likely, and maybe not a lot to work on, or not a lot will I worked on. That's very different. But we'll see. Maybe I'll have embroidery stuff to show everybody. That'd be cool. Something that I'm planning on working on, sort of behind the scenes, that I want to bring up is I have some plans to actually change my patterns, the way they look and are presented. I have a lot of patterns now, which is a little bit intimidating. And I have, I think, 12 fonts now. I'm hoping to actually do a new font soon, by the way, as a sneak peek. I don't have anything to show you, I just have it in here still. But I have one planned that will be next year that it'll be released. So this year I will have only released one new font, which is kind of sucky, and it was like the very start of January that I released it as well. But yeah, anyway, I've got a new font plan, but what I'm talking about is I am going to be updating my patterns. I'll be starting with the most popular patterns that I have. So for example, the No Mistakes and the Minecraft patterns, and I can't think of what other ones are the most popular, but basically they all look like the ones that I released for this pattern, because I use this as a trial for it. Basically it's going to have a bit more information at the start of the pattern, where it'll have the picture of what the pattern looks like, and where you can go back to the pattern listing page. There'll be information about how you can learn to stitch if you need to. Like if you're a super beginner and you don't know how to cross stitch but you want to make this pattern because it looks awesome, or whatever it may be. It'll also have more information on how many like skeins of floss a pattern will need, and listing all the colors that you need and the equipment and tools that you need. I've got it all set up, like I said, because I've done it for this one. I just need to adjust all the elements, like the colors that you need in the pattern for each individual pattern. So I've got to do it each time for each pattern. But it'll also have a page at the end of the pattern that points to my Ko-fi page, because I've realized that I'm not pushing that enough, and I've got all these patterns that you can pay what you want, and majority of the time people are paying $0, which is fine. Like I don't begrudge anyone choosing $0. If I wasn't okay with that, I would change it. But I'm also aware that a lot of people do it as $0 because they don't know what to expect. It could be a really shitty pattern. It could be that they don't know, why is it $0? Like, is it just going to be a useless pattern that's not very helpful? And then they see it and it is helpful, and then they want to pay it forward after they've seen it, if that makes sense. I've had people talk to me about that. So this will be a way where people can easily understand how they can say thanks, basically. And I'll be doing it for, I may not do the Ko-fi thing for like my fonts where you pay for them, and the couple of patterns that I have that are the DIY ones, so the Minecraft World and the Survived 2020 patterns, where they're paid ones. But I'll be adding the start bit to those ones as well. So that'll be an update. It's going to take me some time to do. That's why I'm going to start with the popular ones first, and I'll be updating it for people who download from my website, as well as people who download from Etsy. So the Etsy ones will likely be a little bit different. I may not do a Ko-fi page, and it might be more of a call to action to go to like my website for whatever reason, or a sign up at social media kind of thing, like some kind of call to action for people to continue following me or just be aware of me. Anyway, hopefully that will help. I've been trying to think of blog posts to write that will help those kinds of intro pages. So I recently did a post of how to finish an embroidery hoop as a second way. I did one 2 years ago on how to finish a piece in a hoop, and it was a lot more fiddly and a lot more work. And so this one is how I'm trying to look around for a piece that I've finished it like, but I don't have one. I've got, this is the closest thing, and this is actually really poorly finished because I cut the fabric too short on this, on the sides. But just this, so like a fabric piece, actually, I do have one. So this one. So a fabric piece, a running stitch, pull it taut, tie it in a knot, basically. This is my Fab 5 pattern that's also available, and it's a hoop that doesn't have a screw hole in this bit here, so I'm just fixing. And I like this style because I can do that. I can pull it tight again. It's also really quick. It's clean. It's stylable. And it looks a lot better than this, obviously. And like I did it with all of the ornaments. I've been doing it with orders that I've been getting of Stitch People portraits. So the two that I showed you earlier in the video, they had this kind of finish. It's a lot nicer than, and a lot more beginner friendly is what I'm trying to get at. So I'm trying to think of posts that I can do that are in that same vein for beginner stitches, not just to cross stitch, but to embroidery as well. And I have plans for posts. And I think I talked last FlossTube that I'm wanting to utilize my website much better next year than I did this year. That's everything that I have to talk about, really. This was a long FlossTube, surprisingly. I don't know how much I'll edit out of it, but the video is telling me that it's a lot longer than what I normally do, which is, yeah, as I said, surprising because I literally only had 3 things to physically show everybody. But yeah, I didn't have any haul. Again, I try not to buy stuff. I'm trying to work through the fabric and the floss and all of that I've already got, because I have a tub up there full of very pretty fabric, and I need more of you to order things so that I can use this beautiful Ada that I have. That's why this is on grey, and this is on this like marbled grey kind of thing, and the 2 other Stitch People portraits that I showed you earlier were on non-white, and all of the ornaments were on the like sparkly fabric, and I've got all this pretty fabric and I need people to order things so I can use it, please. Anyway, so that's been my 2 weeks, really. Hopefully it's been enjoyable, and I now have a mountain of washing that I've got to fold, so I will leave it there, and I've got to edit this obviously. But thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and to comment and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Go follow me on Instagram if you're willing, because I mostly post over there, and I have a lot of stuff that I'm going to be announcing. Oh, and you need to go follow on Instagram because I'm doing a giveaway right now. I forgot about that. I'm doing a giveaway because I hit 2,000 followers on Instagram, which is that's just crazy. That's a lot of people. And I know that that's like small potatoes for most, well, not most, for a lot of people on Instagram. But I think about 2,000 people in one area, and I can't imagine that. That's just a lot. That's a lot. But yeah, I have a giveaway that I'm doing right now. It's a Stitch People portrait for 4 people. You can buy more if you want a bigger portrait, and you win. It's open to anyone, not just people in America, but if you're outside of America, you'll need to help me out with shipping costs, because some countries it's crazy amount of money to ship, and I'm already doing a free portrait for you, so you gotta help me out. But yeah, go check that out. It's the video post that says giveaway. It's a dead giveaway. And you gotta be in it to win it, basically. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.